Okay, let's unpack this. We're taking a deep dive today into Haryana, that state nestled right in the heart of India.
Right there.
Now, this is just about geography, you know. It's about getting into a place where, well, ancient history really pulses just beneath this surface of, like, rapid modernization.
Yeah, a real blend.
It's a truly vibrant culture, and the roots go back millennia. We've gathered quite a bit of material here to really try and understand Haryana's story for you.
And it's interesting, isn't it? What jumps out almost immediately is this kind of duality.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You see it described as a land of fearless warriors, but also incredibly hardworking farmers.
And those two things, the warrior and the farmer, they're not separate at all, are they? They seem really deeply interwoven in Haryana's whole story.
Totally.
I mean, think about it. The history there goes back over 5,000 years. That makes it one of the oldest, well, cradles of civilization in India.
Wow. 5,000 years.
Yeah, and that kind of deep history, it's definitely shaped the people, the culture.
Absolutely. And look, you just can't talk about Haryana's past without the Maharata, can you?
No way. It looms large.
I mean, the great battle, Kurukshetra, that huge pivotal event in the epic, it happened right there in Haryana.
It's almost, mind-boggling to think about the historical weight of that one place.
It really is.
And even the name Haryana, it tells you something, doesn't it? It comes from Sanskrit.
Oh, right. Tell us about that.
Well, Hari means God and Ayana means home. So literally, home of God.
Home of God. That's quite something.
It speaks volumes, I think, about its historical, maybe spiritual importance back then.
It really does. And then, jumping forward quite a bit through all that history, we get to a more recent, but still really significant date, November 1st, 1966.
Right, when it became its own state.
Exactly. Formed as a separate state from Punjab. So these incredibly ancient roots, but a relatively new sort of modern political identity.
Precisely. And if you look at the bigger picture, Indian history as a whole, Haryana's role has been pretty consistent, pretty significant throughout.
How so?
Well, from the ancient Vedic civilization, which really flourished there, all the way through India's independent struggle, this region just keeps popping up, playing a key part.
Okay, so let's dig into that warrior spirit idea a bit more, because it really does feel central when you read about Haryana. This martial tradition isn't just like a side note.
No, not at all. It seems core to the identity. People known for bravery, for resilience, for strength.
And there's history to back that up.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Beyond the Maharata legends, you see it later, like in their resistance against, say, British colonial rule. It seems like this inherent bravery, maybe shaped by history, maybe even the land itself.
And it's not just ancient history either, is it? Like even today.
Right. Contemporary India. Haryana still has a really significant presence in the Indian army.
Yeah, the numbers are quite high, aren't they? The number of soldiers coming from Haryana.
They are. It really underscores this ongoing connection to military service and makes you wonder, what keeps that tradition so strong? And it's probably a mix of things. Individual valor, sure, but maybe also historical factors, land ownership patterns, perhaps fewer other economic options in some rural areas historically.
So military service becomes a respected path.
A respected and, a viable career path for generations in many families. But, we need a balanced view, too.
Right.
Our sources do mention some challenges in rural communities, things like village feuds, disputes over land.
Yeah.
Sometimes that strong local pride can spill over into conflict. It's not always heroic battle.
That's a really important point, that nuance.
Okay,
let's shift focus a bit. What about the culture, the traditions? It's described as earthy, simple, deeply connected to the land. That paints quite a picture.
It does, and that connection to the land feels fundamental. You see it in community life.
Like what?
Well, the chapels, these sort of village meeting spots, and the dangle, the traditional wrestling matches, and of course the local fairs. Ah, right, social hubs.
Exactly. Places where the culture is lived, you
Yeah.
know? Maintained, passed down.
And there's this description of the people's attitudes, straightforward and no nonsense.
Yeah, you get that sense, don't you? A kind of directness, maybe practicality, and sort of underpinning that is this deep respect for tradition, a real pride in their roots. That heritage seems to be a powerful anchor in daily life there.
Okay, let's move to something everyone loves: food. Rustic, wholesome, made with love is what we're reading. I'm getting hungry already.
Oh, well, the food definitely reflects the agriculture. Lots of staples like bajra roti.
What's that?
It's a flatbread made from pearl millet. Hearty stuff, often served with loads of butter.
Sounds good.
And chas, buttermilk. Really refreshing, especially when it's hot. Then you've got things like besan masala roti, kari pakora, that's a gram flour curry, very flavorful.
And I saw Bothwarreda mentioned yogurt with greens.
Yeah, that's delicious too. Very cooling. But what really stands out, I think, is the use of desi ghee, that clarified butter. It's everywhere. And this theme of the food being, organic, natural, straight from the farm.
Close to the source.
Exactly. And tons of fresh milk products, obviously. Lassi, curd, paneer. Dairy is huge.
Right. Okay, so from food to festivals, how does Haryana celebrate? We hear vibrant colors, music, dances. Sounds lively.
Oh, they are. Very lively. And each festival has its own feel, its own significance.
Like Lori.
Yeah, Lori marks the winter harvest, sort of the end of the coldest part of winter. And Tej is beautiful monsoon festival, lots of singing, women on swings. It's very picturesque.
And then the big national ones too, presumably.
Oh yeah, Diwali, Holi celebrated with huge enthusiasm, lots of community participation, big deals.
And I saw some regional ones mentioned too, Baisakhi and Guganomi.
Right, those are more tied into local legends, regional traditions. It's interesting how you get both the big national festivals and these very local ones side by side.
And what's the role of these festivals overall? Well, they're absolutely vital for bringing people together, families, whole villages. That sense of community, of togetherness, it really comes alive during festival time.
And I guess that spirit carries over into dance and music, too. We're told there's a lot going on there.
Definitely. Rich folk traditions. You've got dances like the fag dance during Holi, very energetic.
Okay.
The damal dance, which is more about like victory and joy. And the lure dance that's usually young girls during springtime, very graceful.
And music.
Traditional forms like song, ragini, chopai, these are essentially storytelling through music, sometimes epic stories, sometimes funny ones. It's a really vibrant oral tradition, keeps the cultural memory going.
Fascinating. Now, Haryana has also produced some really famous individuals, right? People known across India, even globally.
Oh, absolutely. You have to mention Kapil Dev.
The cricketer.
Yeah.
Legend. Captain India to that first World Cup win.
Exactly. An iconic moment. And then in wrestling.
Wow. So many champions.
Oh, yeah. Olympic medalists like Sakshi Malik, Bajrang Punia, Vinesh Phogat. Incredible athletes. Their success says a lot about the dedication, the strength that's fostered there, especially in those traditional sports.
And didn't someone from Haryana win Miss World recently?
Manushi Chiller, yes, back in 2017. So talent on a global stage, it's a real mix of fields.
Yeah. And the sources mentioned broader contributions too. People in Bollywood, the army, obviously, politics.
Which kind of brings us neatly to summing up the good side, the strengths of Haryana.
Right. Well, number one has to be agriculture, doesn't it? Huge agricultural hub, key player in the Green Revolution, one of India's richest farming areas.
Undeniably important. And then back to the bravery point, that massive contribution to the armed forces.
Yeah, consistently one of the highest percentages of soldiers. It's a real testament to the people.
And then there's the economic growth. You can't ignore that.
Yeah.
Cities like Gurgaon, Gurugram now becoming these huge global IT and business hubs.
Massive transformation there.
Huge. And yet underneath all that modern development, you still have that rich folk heritage we talked about.
The arts, the sports like wrestling and kabaddi, the festivals.
Exactly. It's a culture that feels very much alive, even as it's changing.
But of course, it's important to have that balanced perspective we mentioned.
Yeah.
There are challenges too.
Yes, and the sources are quite clear about these. We have to acknowledge them.
Like the issue of gender inequality. That comes up.
It does. And while things are reportedly improving, there's been a historical struggle with, frankly, a poor female-to-male ratio. It's a serious issue needing ongoing work.
And unfortunately, things like honor killings, caste issues, they still exist.
Regrettably, yes, particularly in some rural areas. These are deep-seated social problems, tied to old norms, caste discrimination, family-based violence. They're real issues being tackled.
And the flip side of that rapid growth is especially in cities like Gurgaon.
Yeah, the urbanization problems, traffic congestion, pollution air, and water strains on resources. It's the classic challenge of growing too fast, perhaps.
And water seems to be a big one.
A critical one. The sources highlight the water crisis, specifically depleting groundwater levels, as a major future threat for the whole state. That needs serious attention, sustainable solutions.
So when you put it all together, Haryana is just this incredibly compelling mix, isn't it? Ancient history bumping right up against hypermodern development.
It really is a fascinating blend of tradition and progress with all the sort of complexities and maybe contradictions that come with that.
Yeah, that valor we started with, it mixes with these deep traditions, and the hard work ethic, it balances with these really vibrant celebrations.
Exactly. That journey, from the stories of Kurukshetra to the skyscrapers in Gurgaon today, it really captures that constant evolution.
So definitely not a place you can define with just one label. It's multifaceted, strong identity, but facing big opportunities and, well, some very real challenges.
A place of warmth, strength, and resilience, that summary feels about right, doesn't it?
I think so.
It does. And maybe that leaves us and you listening with a thought. Considering this blend, this dynamism between ancient roots and breakneck development, what does the future really hold for a state like Haryana navigating the 21st century?
Something to think about.